Under my overcoat, dangling free, the flashes of Wimbledon come and are we, making good use of the things that we find, things that the everyday folk leave behind. Uncle Bulgaria, he can remember the times when he wasn't behind the times. Where is map of the world? Pick up papers, take 'em to Dobermore. Oh, hello, we're off. Ooh, he said, with a glint in his eye. With a glint, with a glint, with a glinty, glinty, glint. Oh, yes. Oh, I didn't do that. That is a thing that I meant to do, and I did. Where's that gone? Oh, oh, that's something else I meant to do that I didn't do. Gosh, life is full of tiny disappointments. Under my overcoat, dangling free, the flashes of Wimbledon, common are we, making jolly good use of the things that we find, things that the everyday folk, quite frankly, leave behind. Oh, yes. Right, here we go. Hello, darlings, and the very wibbly wobbliest of willy waving welcomes to you. Yes, welcome indeed to Wednesday Night Live, darlings. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And it is nothing less than a sheer orgasmic joy to be sitting here faced with the prospect of another hour of your company because I adore being with you. It's my favorite thing because you are just such an amazing inner scrotum of top of the range blessed puppets. That's what you are. And in the hour ahead, well, we're going to wave goodbye to Wednesday. We're going to welcome in Thursday. What else? We're going to talk about the fact that I put the bin out. I've got the Airbnb updates to bring you that those who are in the Facebook group, Boaty's World, will already know all about, and you've been asked to vote on a poll. Hedgie is here. The Hedgehog of Truth is on hand should you have a Hedgehog of Truth question. The community portable electric telephone is here should you wish to send a voice note to the usual number. Sean's box is here and we'll get at least one pounding, possibly more, if more than one person rings in and instructs me to do it. And I have got no fewer than 3 things to open. So that's all lovely and rather exciting, isn't it? Possibly more Christmas cards to make my front parlour look even more festive than it already does. Now then, darlings, I am gagging for a little sip of my wine. It's 11 o'clock, my loves. It's gone 11 o'clock. And if a man isn't entitled to a glass of wine at 11 o'clock, a working man, a man who has been productive today and done things and avenged the appeased the vengeful gods of the overdraft, and I've sent gloves to Santiago in Chile, and I've been to work, and I think that I deserve a glass of wine. I don't care whether you disagree. I'm going to go ahead and have one. Yeah, boo, and quite frankly, sucks to you. So, and then I will jump into your comments, which are very much the meat and vegetables of this bowl of tomato soup. So, cheers, darlings. Your very good health. Bottoms up yours. And above all, please get stuffed. Ah, just excuse me for a moment while that does its work. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, marvelous. Mm. absolutely splendid. Right, time to crack on. If you haven't already commented and you're watching this and you're thinking, I'd like to comment, but what should I comment? Well, tell us all how your day was and tell us what you've eaten today. That's all we need from you. We'll take it from there, believe me. And yeah, if you're watching this and you've never commented on one of my live streams, just tell us what you ate today. And before you know it, you will be balls deep in the maelstrom that is the Boaty's World live community with all of my fantastic inner scrotum and all of the bugs therein. Now then, first cab off the rank tonight was Paulie Galtieri, our friend Richard. Good evening, Boaty and everyone. Hope you've all had a good day. He says, Carol C. followed up, following closely in his footsteps. Warm greetings. Oh, I welcome warmth. I don't know what the weather's like with you, darlings, but I mean, the rain here is biblical. Rain, as in, flooding. Oh, horrible. Warm greetings to Boaty and all the bugs, says Carol C. Hope you all have had a good day and night. I'm so tired tonight, I'm not going to be able to keep my peepers open until the live stream starts. Enjoy the crack and fun. I'll catch a video in the morning. Night, night. Sleep tight, everyone. Well, good morning. Everybody say good morning to Carol. Good morning, Carol. Thank you for your kind wishes for our live stream last night. Hope you slept well and hope you have a fantastic day ahead. Enjoy your lunch and dinner. At the M11 of the YouTube channel, Emma Lemon is here. I am unbelievably tired, she says. I'm the same as Carol. Not sure if I can stay awake. Hope you're all doing goodly anyway. Oh, bless you. Bless you. You're a tired little toad, aren't you? No, there's a few tired toads amongst us, me included. I was up earlier this morning, darlings, and I have had a reasonably productive day. Uh, and I'm feeling rather positive after all of the Airbnb news tonight. We'll get on to all of that later if we've got time. Peter P joins us. Good evening, Boggs and Boaty. Matron says Christmas Day will all be over this time next week, evening or. Won't all be. Well, no, we'll still be balls deep in the live stream, won't we? And we'll have 52 minutes of Christmas Day left. Don't wish it all away. Barry is with us, and that's why Starboard here. Evening all. There we are. There's lovely. I've had a very unusual day, says Barry. I bumped into someone I had removed from a job a few years ago, who had a complete something attack when she saw me. It was very funny. You're lucky she didn't attack you, mate. Or well, actually, she's probably no. I'll rephrase that. She's lucky she didn't attack you. I keep forgetting that you know how to handle yourself. And that I don't mean that in a self-abuse way. I mean that our Barry he's a bit of a handful on the cobbles, what with being a trained martial artist and all around serious dude. I don't know why I said that, serious dude. It's weird, isn't it? Because our Barry is lovely. He's got a heart as big as a house. He's a lovely sci-fi nerd. He's an author now as well, but he's also a right old hard case. Oh, no wonder Karen is so fond of him. And vice versa, of course, because the same applies in reverse. Karen is lovely, one of the loveliest people I've ever virtually met, and I would love to meet you both in real life. That will happen one day when I'm all rich and famous. I shall travel around the world and just meet you all and buy you all a choc ice. But yeah, Karen is lovely, but I'm absolutely lovely. But there's a side of her that is very much not to be messed with. It just goes to show, doesn't it? I'm not sure what it goes to show, but it goes to show something. I wonder if Karen is cooking again last night. It was tonight, I mean. It was pie last night, wasn't it, if I remember correctly? Good evening, Boaty and all in chat, says the lovely Trisha Alderman. Hello, Matron and Peter P. Stu has been off work today and got some cleaning done. Well done, you. It's more than I've done today, to be honest. Oh, Karen is out seeing a friend, says Paddy. So I have a Star Trek box set and the stream to watch. I can imagine which of the two you'll enjoy more. But enjoy your you time. Cuthbert Dibble Grub. I'm not a Schadenfreude type of person. And for those who don't know what Schadenfreude means, it means taking pleasure from somebody else's misfortune. But I love karma. Well, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. If you've nailed a wrong'un and brought them to justice, then, sod them. They shouldn't have been a wrong'un, should they? Oh, Bad Books is with us and says, good evening, all. Charlotte Williams is here. That's fabulous. Richard, we've already said hello to. Wackety wang. Andrew Buttigieg is with us. Ivor Spotty Butty, of course, and he greets everybody by name. He does that, and it's rather touching. The Alstromery. Oh, is that what they're called? The Alstromeria. Alstromeria, I think. The Alstromeria cut flowers are lasting very nicely, says Bad Books. They're lasting incredibly well, aren't they? It's ridiculous. They're the most long-lasting cut flower I've ever come across. And which makes them rather good value for money. They were £2.19 or £2.29 from Lidl or Aldi or whichever one it is. Nice to hear that the Sherpa's Lodge is ready soon. Allegedly. Right, let's go there now. I collared the builders today. I summoned them downstairs because we had the beginnings of another leak, which they can't understand because they say that where the leak is, it's the oven about. Now, right, bear in mind that this is a complete arse about face thing, right? I'm taking on this thing, this business, alone, single-handed. I've never been in the premises properly to have a look about. I don't know how many bedrooms there are. I don't know what the full layout is. I don't know anything about it. And yet I've taken on the responsibility of allowing a hell of a lot of money to be thrown at it. And then I'm taking responsibility for somehow turning it into a profitable enterprise. Now, obviously, it's undergoing a renovation, as we know. But to be perfectly honest, I didn't know, and therefore you didn't know, exactly what that renovation involved. I didn't know whether I was going to be presented with a bare shell where everything was done structurally, but it needed to be decorated and everything put in and all of the appliances and all carpets and flooring and all. I didn't know. It was just going to be, because it's so convoluted the way that it's come about, and it's all so arse about face and ridiculous that I don't really understand what I'm taking on. Except tonight I do. Because I collared the builders, collared their head guy, and asked some very, very direct questions and got some answers which are probably bullshit, but I'm a little bit better informed now than I was before. So basically, where we're at now, they reckon that the rendering will all be finished this week, maybe a couple of days, maybe a bit more, but they reckon it's all going to be finished, allegedly. Now, I've looked through one window, and in one room at least, there is literally no ceiling, straight through to the rafters, to the beams. So how likely that bit of the story is, I don't know. But I can see that other rooms that I've been able to, I've not been upstairs. I still haven't been upstairs. I've peeked through the windows. I can see that other bits do look as if they have been completed. So take that for what it's worth. So they've then said that it'll have to be left to dry with the windows open for about 4 days before it can then be sanded down and painted. Okay, fair enough, no argument with that. But then I specifically asked them, I said, look, what is your remit? How far are you going with this? Because I need to know. They didn't know that I was involved with it. They didn't know that I was taking it on. So I said, look, I need to know what I'm going to be faced with, because this has all been blah, 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 blah. So they've told me exactly what they're doing. So we've got to the bit where they've done all the rendering, all the plastering, all of that nonsense, all of the structural stuff, let it dry, then they're going to paint it. Now, possibly at the same time as that, possibly as early as the end of this week, 2 brand new bathrooms are going to be fitted, and a brand new kitchen is going to be fitted. Now, the kitchen didn't look that bad. I've never been in it, but I saw the pictures from the last time that it was on an estate agent's letting website, and kitchen looked all right to me. A little bit dated, yeah, but all right. But there you go. It's having brand new bathrooms and new kitchens. So that's a positive. That's a big positive that I wasn't aware of before. And then when that is all done and everything's painted, the final touch is going to be that new carpet is being laid throughout on all stories. So basically, I'm going to be presented with a bare shell, but a bare shell with new bathrooms, new kitchen, new carpets, and completely freshly decorated. So that's more than I expected or even hoped for, to be completely honest with you. So that's going to make the job quite easy. So all I've got to do then is to dress it and furnish it, and that's the fun bit. That's the bit that I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm hoping to get some help from certain people, but that's something that I would enjoy tackling on my own if I had to, although I would be grateful for some guidance, possibly in person from a couple of people that whose opinion I would trust, and certainly online from you lot. Because what I will do, the very first day that I get in there, I'm going to do a video, a complete walk around video of everything and everywhere, see what I'm presented with. Because one thing I didn't get from them, they were talking about the flats that we're going to rent, which, because of course when I did speak about it with the landlord, at that point I was going to do it as a shared space let, because that would be more profitable. So individual bedroom suites or whatever, and then shared facilities. And then I changed my mind, and decided that, and people had mentioned this, it wasn't entirely my own thought process, and I decided to do it as a complete let, because that would make life so much easier for me. I wouldn't have to micromanage that. I would just have a professional company coming in to clean and do the changeovers. There'd be a key in the key safe outside, and I could deal with all of that remotely. I wouldn't have to be on site in any way, shape, or form. Whereas if I was doing it as a shared space, I would need to be there. pretty, kind of all the time, or a lot of the time anyway. So I don't know exactly. So when he said that, it kind of threw me a bit about individual flats, because I don't know if they're going to, if they have, or if they're going to add any extra things to make it into that kind of model. I can't think what they would do. What would they do? Put locks on individual bedroom doors, something like that. But even if they do, that wouldn't be the end of the world, because I could still do it as a whole let. But then if a corporate entity takes it on, um, or even if friends take it on, they've still got their individual private areas. Because remember, this is a big old space we're talking about. It's not going to be rented by one person. So if they do put things in to facilitate it being a shared space, I wouldn't be. I thought about it and I thought, well, I wouldn't be upset about that, because that's just going to make it more flexible. It'll, in many ways, it'll make it more usable as a shared space, because it's a big old space. It's not going to be rented by a couple, or even a couple with two kids. It's too big for that. So yeah, having some elements of devolved privacy would actually be a plus. So I'm not overly concerned about that. And that is the plan, to do it as a complete let for my ease. But if that fails, then I'm going to have no option other than to do it as a shared space. And that would mean that I would have to all intents and purposes, I would have to move in there. I wouldn't lose Windy Bum, dear God, no, heaven forfend, that will never happen unless it's forced upon me. But I would probably have to spend maybe 4 or 5 nights a week there, or certainly spend the days there, that sort of thing. Because if you've got shared space, different people coming in and out, then, oh, maybe they could all have their own key. I'd have to think about that. But it would be a little bit more complicated. But if it comes to that, then it comes to that. But it's not going to be the preferred option. And the reason that I would prefer to do it as the easier way for me is this. Don't forget that. Oh, and just to finish that off, they're talking about a completion date of the 15th of January. So obviously, my birthday is on the 14th. I'm going away on the 13th. So if I was away on the 13th, celebrating my birthday on the 14th, blah, 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 and then back on the Tuesday night, and then I got presented with the keys on the Wednesday, sorry about that, Weinberg, wouldn't that be lovely timing? But obviously, I'm going to question their projected dates. So if they're saying it's going to be done on the 15th of January, then I'm thinking, right, with a bit of luck and a following wind, that means I'll get the keys on Valentine's Day, 14th of February. You've all been along with me. You've seen how it's gone. What are the chances of it being done on the day that they say they're planning to finish it? But then here's where it's going to get a bit mad and frenetic. Because remember, this is not a solo project. There is another project. And I got news on that tonight as well, because Bish came to visit, and he wanted to bring me up to speed. So remember that what's going on at the Sherpa's Lodge. It's the bit above the restaurant, blah, 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 blah. Now, the other restaurant, Clay Cross, the bigger restaurant, bear in mind that we're doing something very similar there. Now, that is a bigger building, and there's a bit more room upstairs. Again, I haven't been through all of it. Again, I've got no idea what I'm doing. And again, I'm going to be faced with the responsibility of making it work, which that's starting to sink in a bit now. That's starting to sink in that within a relatively short space of time, I'm going to be in a position where I am solely single-handedly, there's nobody else, there's literally just me. And I've got to make a £500,000 investment work. I've got to make it work and I've got to make it profitable. And you'd think that would freak me out, wouldn't you? It doesn't. It doesn't. If you watched my wedding video, you probably won't be surprised at what I'm going to say. But that arrogant swine that you saw on that video is still here, absolutely still here. You know, you might think, right, you've got no idea what you're taking on, you haven't seen the premises, blah blah blah, and you've got to make a £500,000 investment work when you're starting with two hands tied behind you, working in the dark. Yeah, bring it on. I'm genuinely still so arrogant that I think, yeah, I'm Parry Hughes. Of course I'll make it work. Of course I'll make it work. Which is probably madness, but you know, what's the worst that can happen? Remember how much of that £500,000 has been put up by yours truly. Think about it. I had a direct debit bounce today for 30 quid because I didn't have enough cash to put in the bank. How much of that £500,000 have I put up? Not a bloody penny, mate. But it's still a fair old responsibility, and it's a moral responsibility, because bear in mind, all of this is happening because old Boaty here, or Parry Hughes, or whatever you want to call me, has gone along and said, right, this would work. You should really do this, and they've said, yeah, okay, and thrown a shed load of money at it. So if I don't make it work, then morally, you might think that I would take a bit of it. Well, I could take a literal kicking if it doesn't work. But yeah, I'm not worried about any of that. I just want to get cracking with it. I'll make it work. I know I will, even if I am on my own. And it has been made very clear to me that I'm completely on my own. The only input or help of any nature that I'm going to get from that side is money. Everything else is down to me. I can't ring up and say, what about this? I can't. It's all down to me. The buck literally stops there. So I'm not saying I'm going to do it totally without help. I'm going to be asking all of you lot. We'll do it as a hive community mind. So I'm not worried. How can I be worried when I've got you walking somewhere around me? And this is the man who said, do not walk behind me, for I may not lead. Do not walk in front of me, for I may not follow. And don't walk beside me either. Just bugger off and leave me alone. But yeah, I'm going to be relying on you coming through all of this every step of the way. So the other project, to get onto that. So Claycross, the building at Claycross, it's a massive old pub. It hasn't been a pub for decades and decades and decades. It's been a restaurant for a long time. The upstairs has been completely unused ever since it became a restaurant. Well, it's been used for storage. Occasionally, some people have stayed there when they've got nothing better to do. It's an absolute, oh God. I mean, I haven't seen it for the last 4 or 5 years. And when I saw it before that, it was absolutely hellish, really bad. But so the situation on that is that, as I say, completely on my say-so, Bish is throwing a shed load of money at it. Now, remember, we own that building. So it's not going to be a situation like the Sherpa's Lodge where there's a landlord involved and a commercial lease and all of that. This is simple. We own the building, we own the freehold, blah, blah, blah. So the update on that is the architects drew up the plans. I haven't seen the plans. I'm going to be presented with God only knows what, and I will just have to make it work. But the architects have drawn up the plans. the plans have been submitted for planning approval or planning permission, whatever, this week. And there are not expected to be any problems whatsoever. Um, so, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, there's going to be a bit more structural work because there has to be an external entrance and exit, and presumably fire exit. Because at the moment, the only access, ingress, or egress is internal through the restaurant. So obviously, that's got to change. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know. I assume it's going to be, well, I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue. I'll probably try and find out before it starts. But the plans have now been submitted by the architect, so things are going ahead. Um, the uh, the building work has been provisionally scheduled. Well, more than provisionally scheduled. The building work has been scheduled to begin in February. Um, everything is in place, and the completion date is due to be in March. So next year could be a bit bloody mad, darlings. From me sitting here complaining about not having any money and this, that, and the other, then I'm suddenly going to be trying to juggle still running the restaurant, still doing a YouTube channel, still doing anything else I'm doing, and doing these two massive projects totally single handed. Um, and the Clay Cross one, that's going to be a big project with a lot more money involved. And I haven't really got a clue what I'm going to do. I mean, I've got a vague idea that it's way too big to be run as a whole let. It's going to have to be done as an Airbnb stroke guest house stroke hotel. It would make sense to, we've got enough staff now that it would make sense to potentially tie it in with downstairs and make that available for corporate use during the day. So getting double bubble from that. But, you know, I'm effectively just going to be presented with, right, there it is. We've thrown £100,000 at this one, £400,000 at that one. Crack on. Look forward to seeing the profits roll in. And if you have any problems at all, don't ring me. You're on your own. It's nothing to do. Because Bish honestly did make it that clear. He said, look, I'm having nothing whatsoever to do with any of this. I trust you. You do it. And that's it. End of story. The money's there. You've got access to it. But I'm not getting involved in any way, shape, or form. I just want to see the money coming into my bank account. That's it. So, yeah. So next kind of February, March onwards, things could be really, really different, couldn't they? And that would be a bit scary, except that it's not. It's just really exciting. And what's going to make it harder is, of course, that in my fevered imagination, this is what's going to make the YouTube channel suddenly take off. So, however hard it is, I'm going to film everything, absolutely everything, because it's quite a good story, isn't it? It's quite a good storyline. You know, everything that I've just said, right? I'm taking on this project. I'm going to be responsible for this sizable investment. I've not got a clue what I'm taking on. I haven't seen either of the premises properly. I'm going into a line of business I've got zero experience in. Yeah, I've run restaurants. I've never run a hotel. I've never even worked in a hotel. Haven't got a clue. And I keep banging on about the Airbnb thing. I don't know anything about it. I don't know how it works. I've never even booked an Airbnb, let alone not a clue, not a clue. I stayed in one, but Emma dealt with all of that. So I literally haven't got a clue. I'm just so arrogant that I figure, yeah, it'll be fine. I'll make it work. I'll make it work. Which is, you know, possibly somewhat foolhardy. I mean, in my defense, through the whole of my life, I haven't actually failed at anything, or I hadn't actually failed at anything until I tried YouTube. And yeah, I failed at YouTube, which makes me think, oh, well, actually, maybe I can fail, but I'd never failed at anything before. So I just assumed that, yeah, I'll make it work. And it will be the best out there. That's kind of what I figure with everything. So next year could be a massive bloody fall for me and for the daft buggers who've invested a lot of money into my bright idea. But we'll see. We'll see. On the other hand, look at it the other way. Um, Upstairs at Clay Cross hasn't earned its keep for decades. It's just been an empty space. It's been paid for, it's been heated, it's been bought or rented or whatever, and it's never earned a penny. So, I'm going to do better than that, aren't I? And the same story with Ripley. All he's had in there, it was substandard. He had tenants in there on a relatively short-term basis. There was a brother and a sister who lived there for a year or two. Then there were some other people, but they all left because it was just substandard. So it's not really been earning him any dough. And even when it was earning, probably because it was substandard, he was only getting about 850 quid a month for it, which is nonsensical given the space. So, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, there are three partners now in the Sherpa's Lodge. There's me, Bish, and there's the landlord. So if it was getting 850 quid a month before, let's multiply that by 3, which takes it up to 25.50. Can I get 2,550 quid a month out of that space? Yeah, of course I bloody can. You'd have to work hard not to. You really would. So, when there are 3 people involved, none of us are going to become millionaires out of it. But then the other 2 people are millionaires already, so they don't need to be any more millionaired up. So it'll just be an investment that's paying them a bit, but it'll make a massive difference to me. So there we are. I'm going to make a video about all of that tomorrow, but you guys have had a sneak preview. What do you think? Let me know what you think. You probably already have. I just haven't bothered reading it. So I'd better catch up with some comments, really, hadn't I? Stu has avenged the assaults of idleness. What a nice way of putting it. Cauliflower cheese and a sweet and sour chicken with rice, no less, says Stu. Charlotte had chili-filled jacket potatoes with lashings of butter, and oh my, it hit the spot. Tricia says, we have been to Luminate Sandringham this evening and Thursford Light Trail last week and now beginning to feel quite festive. Is Yvette still on the naughty list? Asked Peter P. She's doubly on the naughty list now, and you'll see why in tomorrow's video. Bloody thing. Yes, doubly on the naughty list. But I don't think it's too bad. Jimmy Quinn is with us, and his dinner was KFC 10-piece family feast, finger-licking good. What, is that just between 2 of you, Jimmy? A family feast between 2 of you. Bad Books had sardines on toast for dinner. I'm not even going to correct it. As he said last night, he is northern and proud. So he had sardines on toast for dinner, which for him is his midday meal. And MX5 Owners Club Christmas tea was turkey and cranberry pie, Stilton mash, cauliflower, broccoli, and a nasty drive home in terrestrial rain, but I think that was meant to be torrential. So, okay. So, yeah, you've got the same weather that I have, then, bad books. Barry says, yes, I'm a true Renaissance man, you slag. That is a good one, says Andrew, and I agree. And Karen's a proper legend. I agree with that as well. Richard had boiled bacon, cabbage, and potatoes. That's a very Irish meal, if you'll forgive me for saying so. Oh, Tomo is back with us. Hello, mate. How you doing today? Hi, everyone. Have you all had a good day? Have you had a good day, Tomo? Oh, I'm so glad you're back and enjoying yourself here. Boiled bacon, says Stu. And Richard explains, a piece of back bacon boiled. I'm sure that's a very Irish thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Bad Book says, we were at the Fuchs Arms, Hillington, for a Christmas meal, not far from Sandringham tonight. Going back to the lady that had a freak out attack type thing with Barry, he says she was a thief and got what she deserved. She can't even draw benefits. Well, there you are. There you are. As I said, that's what you get for being a wrong'un. If you want to go around wrong'uning, then don't be surprised when you reap the rewards of being a wrong'un. I say rewards, I mean punishment, of course. I'm wearing that underwear that doesn't really fit properly. And it's, yeah, I had no option. It was either these or my posh new pants that were very kindly sent to me, but I'm saving them for my birthday. I'm not wearing them again. They're too nice and too expensive. I'm wearing those designery Frenchy ones that I bought from Morrison's in Chapel on Le Frith for a couple of quid. And I took a chance on them because they looked as if they were too small, but they were so cheap and so posh looking. I thought I'd go for it. And they are too small, darlings. They are too small. So I'm feeling, yeah, I'm feeling very, very snug. Very snug. I mean, you could say that's a good thing and I'm feeling well supported, but ow, just compromised a plum then. But they're too well supportive, if you know what I mean. So I don't feel supported, I feel constrained. And now I feel very uncomfortable having just compromised a plum somewhat painfully. Anyway, says Barry, I'm making a spicy chicken burger. Boiled bacon, says Stu again. It looks like you have a beautiful home, Boaty, says Tomo. Tomo, that's very kind of you. I don't know. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? For those who don't know, I live in a 700-year-old stone-walled cottage up here on the moors in the Peak District National Park, and I think it's utterly beautiful. I absolutely adore it, but other people might just think that it's a miserable, damp old heap in the middle of nowhere with howling winds. But I love it. I love the fact that I've got walls that are like 3 or 4 foot thick and have withstood everything for centuries and centuries. And yeah, it's home and I love it. Whether it's beautiful, as I say, that's eye of the beholder. But some of you have been here and will probably have your own opinions. And there is a guest cupboard here, remember, so you can always come and experience it for yourself and form your own judgment. Boats, you'll be fine, says Barry. Oh, bless you, mate. Probably full of damp like all old cottages, say Stu. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Not as damp as an old and very broken Citroen Berlinga. After you all banged on about it, I did actually watch a bit of that video. I didn't make it all the way through, but I did watch a bit of it. Old hubby. And tonight on Boaty's Design, says Andrew Buttigieg, a build that actually gets completed on budget and on time. Well, we can only dream, can't we? I can't read that. Port out, starboard home, says to you, posh. Yeah, that is the origins. For those who don't know the etymology of the word posh, it is indeed port out, starboard home. Back in the colonial days, those who were going out to spend the winter in India or on the subcontinent, um, if the most expensive cabins on the ships were on the port side going out and on the starboard side coming home, because they were the shaded sides where you could be cool in the days before air conditioning. So if you were rich and could afford the nicer things, then you were said to be posh because you were port out, starboard home. Ah. The devil is in the detail. Got to keep on their backs, Boaty. I quite enjoy the jeopardy of just being presented with something and having to just make the best of it. There's a lot of MX5 talk going on, which is rather lovely. I can't join in because I don't have one at the moment, but I did have a Unos Roadster V-Spec lightweight. I say I had one. It was a Valentine's Day gift that I bought for the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty. But I used to get to drive it sometimes as well. We did take it on a massive road trip all through France and various other places. So much news, and it's not even 9 o'clock, says Andrew. Uh, Carl Burton says it might concern you a tad if it was your 500,000. Well, it might, Carl. It might, but honestly, it probably wouldn't. I tend not to worry about that sort of thing. I mean, I would be micromanaging it a lot more if it was my 500,000. And the Sherpa's Lodge would all be done because I would have employed different builders. But but the amount of the investment wouldn't have worried me, not given that situation, because it's just wasted space. Um, if I'd have, I've been telling Bish for ages and ages and ages. Literally, I've been telling Bish for 8 years that it's ridiculous that all of that space up there is wasted at Claycross. Now, the Ripley thing is a lot more recent, but 8 years I've been telling Bish it's crazy, absolutely crazy, because you're paying for that and it's not earning its keep. And he should have done it really immediately that we bought the building, because we didn't used to own it. That was a commercial lease for a long time, until we just bought it. We would buy Ripley as well, but the landlord won't sell. And as I've said before, we've offered over market value for it, and the landlord just won't sell at the moment. The market is too suppressed. I'm annoyed that we didn't buy the place next door to Claycross. If I'd have been based there instead of Ripley, then I would have made sure that we bought it. There's a dilapidated. No, it's more than dilapidated. It's another word that begins with D. You know, when it's completely buggered, completely K-cuffed. There's a house next door to, or a cottage next door to Claygrass, and it's the word beginning with D that means more than dilapidated. It's finished. And it sold in auction this year, uh, and it sold for £62,000. And we'd have bought that just for the land. We could have, well, we could have done anything. I always had in my mind various plans for that plot of land because I always wanted us to buy it. And it went up for auction and it just missed our radars. I'm not there, I'm not based there, so I didn't know anything about it. Bishnu missed it, and we all only found out about it after the fact and found out what it sold for. And And of course, now we're bloody kicking ourselves because we could have made really good use of that land. But hey ho, what can you do? What can you do? Well, you can read the comments. That's what you can do. That's what you're here for. So get on with it. Is it too early for a timestamp, says Andrew? I'm way behind, aren't I? I'm way behind, I'm sure I am. But that's all right. You guys are just all talking about cars. I don't need to get involved in that, do I? I can just whiz past them. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Boaty asked Bad Books, are you going to employ cleaners, laundry company, handyman, etc.? Good question, Bad Books, and the answer to all of those is yes. Now, the first person I approached was actually Boo, but I don't think Boo is going to be up for it. Sadly, because that would have been perfect. I would love to throw some money her way, and I would have obviously I trust her with my life, so I would have gladly left her in charge of all of the handovers. She ran Gulliver's Hotel. She's got a load of history in the field. She would have known exactly what to do, and I could have just paid her to organize it all herself. She would have sorted out cleaners, blah 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 blah. But yeah, I don't think she's going to be up for that. So yeah, I will. I mean, I will definitely have to employ. I mean, you say cleaners, I will probably employ one of the companies around here, because obviously I live in the Peak District National Park. There are many holiday lets here, and there are some very highly reputable companies that exclusively deal with holiday lets. And basically, you engage their services. And the reason I know this particularly well is obviously I used to live in Matlock Bath when I was living with Boo. I was living here as well, but I was living in Matlock Bath. And I launched the Matlock Bath Village Facebook group, and I still run that. And there's a lot of potential advertising on it. I don't allow adverts on there from anybody not based in the village unless they pay for it, and nobody's paid for one yet. So I just don't allow them to be posted. But there's a few companies that try to post all the time, and they just deal exclusively with holiday lets, and they provide everything that you need: the handyman, the cleaners, the people to do the changeover, blah de blah de blah. So yeah, I would look at. I will definitely be employing people. Probably a company like that to begin with. I imagine that's not tremendously cost effective. You would be better building your own team, but that might take time. So I would employ that company initially, or one of those companies, but then I'd be keeping half an eye out for local people to that I could just employ directly. It would be more cost effective. It'd be. I'm a big believer in putting food on another person's table when you can, and keeping it local and so on. So, yeah, short answer to that is yes, I will be employing all of those. More car talk, more car talk. Diddly do. How do you manage to spend £500,000 on a refurb? Asked Carl. Well, when it's two buildings and one of them needs major structural changes, it's surprisingly easy. Do you know how much builders charge for that sort of thing? And you're talking about a lot of space, and then you're talking about a lot of furnishings and whatnot. Believe me, it's easily done. There was a time when I would have asked a question like that. I remember when I was with Lise in Exeter, and we had a thatched cottage. God almighty, you don't want to know how much it costs to replace the thatched roof on a, dear God. Hello, Mr. Boaty in chat says the equalizer, but we now know him as Mark. And good evening to you. More car talk, more car talk. Diddly-doo. Oh, Mustard came along. Hello, testicle cuppers. And hello to you, Mustard. Go on, show us your pants. I'll get demonetized. I'll get demonetized. Well, oddly enough, my last 3 live streams have been demonetized, with the exception of Monday Night Live, which was the real filthy one. It was full of all sorts. Can I? Hang on, let me have a look, see if I can. No, I daren't. No, I daren't. I'll show you them when I've taken them off and laundered them, when they're not actually cupping my testicles, because I'll just get in trouble with YouTube. God, look at the time. Where's the time gone? Let's crack through these comments, open some stuff, pound a box, and then go to bed, I suppose. 3 or 4 foot thick walls that your neighbour can still hear you through. Yeah, I raised that with him, and he explained that it's because this area behind me here is a chimbley, and he has a chimbley there as well, and that is hollow, and that's why he could hear me, because there's this hollow area here. Now, because, yeah, that did occur to me. Because I thought, how the fuck can he hear me? The walls are as thick as God knows what. But he said, yeah, it's weird, isn't it? You would think that, but, and then he explained it was because of that chimbley area. That's because they've got their ear pressed against a glass against the wall. Not the cheap pink underwear against this bad book, so you'll end up with retained testicles. My grandma's chihuahua had to go to the vet for that. It's one night only, one night only. I had a little FM radio, says Stu, and I could pick up my neighbour's wireless phone conversations. Destroyed, no, derelict. That's the one, Simone Nyman. And good evening to you, by the way. Derelict. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, God, dump, rising dump, disgusting, desperate, disaster zone. Boaty would turn into Basil Fawlty overnight, says Richard. And it's it's really funny you say that, because I was chatting privately with a friend today, and we were talking about the possible effects of the Airbnb on the YouTube channel. And I said exactly that it will give me a chance to exercise my inner Basil Fawlty and have a proper rant about the guests and abuse them. And my friend said that, yeah, I can easily see you inhabiting that character. So it's odd you should say that, Richard, but great minds think alike. Delirious, dung heap, Dewberry, dank, delectable, desperate Dan, Dan's bangers, donkey, dung nuts. Oh dear. Dan's Beards and Bangers super YouTube channel. Are you going to open up the letters, Boaty? I am indeed. Watch out for subsidence. Boaty lies in on Christmas morning. What? Because I didn't answer the door to that nutcase last Christmas morning who was smacking my door at 4:30 in the morning, shouting through the letterbox, and I slept through it all. I slept through it all because I went to bed at about 2 o'clock full of wine. I'm not going to wake up at 4:30 to a lunar. I mean, everybody else on the lane woke up. Yeah, apparently he was quite loud. But buggered if I did. Oh no, Tomo, it's just been to McDonald's, got back and got flashed by a speed camera. Oh, bloody hell. I was hitting about a ton too. Oh, sodding hell, Tommy. Oh, dear. Yeah, you're right. That McDonald's might have cost you a lot. Right, I've caught up with the comments. Let's open some stuff before we all go to bed, shall we? Because it is midnight. Oh, and one other thing. I messaged Premier in tonight, actually, when I got home from work, very, very quickly. That's why I was a little bit late setting up for the live stream. And I basically said, hello, I'm a really famous YouTuber. I was supposed to be staying at your place in Carnarvon on Monday, but my car broke down and I didn't get there. Now, according to your terms and conditions, I can't do anything about it because it was too late to amend the booking. But how do you fancy making an exception for me and giving me another night in lieu? I'll make sure you get lots of wonderful publicity. I thought, well, if you don't ask, you don't get, do you? So it's worth a try. Right, here we go. This is addressed to the Reverend J. Parry Hughes with my full and correct address. And it looks like it's coming from, a Chester postmark with a nice Christmas stamp on it. Oh, Christmas wishes. Oh, that's quite nice, quite posh. Wishing you a wonderful Christmas and a happy New Year. Dear Boaty, from Richard. So, thank you, Richard. Another Christmas card. I'm so blessed. I will do a video in the front parlour taking you round all of the Christmas cards. But the front parlour is not as tidy as it could be, he said, looking at it at the moment. It's not bad. It's just, it's not film worthy at the moment. But, I can't tell you how much I love the fact that I've got Christmas cards this year. Oh, you don't have a plate on the front. Right. Oh, it's a motorbike. Oh, okay. That makes a bit more sense now. Thank you, Richard. I really, really appreciate that, as I appreciate all of the other cards. Right, should we go for this one? Oh, this one's addressed to Mr. Parry Hughes, Windy Bottom Cottage. And it looks like it's from a company, so maybe it's one of those that you get made up. Posh envelope, do not bend. Where are we? Oh, here we go. Oh, and then there is, that's sweet. Handwritten envelope inside, just saying Boaty. And then there's a lovely little heart on the back. Oh, that's very sweet. Oh, and it's not actually sealed, it's just tucked in. Oh, this is, yeah, it is. It's a specially made one. Oh, and it's a posh one. Oh, bless you. Oh, it's from the lovely Tracy P. Look at this. Isn't that lovely? Well, wishing you a very Merry Christmas, Boaty. And then to Boaty with best wishes for Christmas and 2025 from Tracy P and Ants. Oh, bless you. Thank you so much. That's lovely. Honestly, I can't tell you. My cottage and my front parlour have always looked like Scrooge around Christmas. No decorations, one Christmas card on the mantelpiece, and I'm not joking. It literally has been one Christmas card from Nicky next door, and that's been it every year. And now I've got cards all over the place. I will show you. It is a lovely card. A couple of people are saying that it is. It's lovely. It's nice. It's thoughtful. It is all of those things. And I'm so grateful. Oh, I do feel very blessed. And then finally, this one to Jason Parry Hughes. This one. So I've been Reverend on one, Mr. on another, and Jason on another. variety is the spice of life, isn't it? Oh, bless you. Thank you, Thomas. So what have we got in here? Let's have a look. It's like my birthday every day, isn't it? Oh, could this be a fridge magnet? Could this be a fridge magnet? Oh, hang on, what's this? I think somebody might have been a little amusingly cheeky here. Right, let's have a look at the card. I don't know who this is from. Okay, this is funny. This is funny. Okay, there's the card. Emergency cutlery starter pack. Merry Christmas. And what have we got in there? With some, look, tied up in a bow. About how many? 1, 2, 3, 5 wooden forks of exactly the type that I was presented with at that restaurant. Look, tied up in ribbon with glittery stars in there. Okay, that is genius. Well done. Whoever sent that, kudos to you. Well done. That is genius. And you know what? I'm genuinely not going to let those go to waste. Now, when I tried to go away on Monday, I took noodles with me for lunch. I made them myself. Well, I say I made them. I just got my food flask, put the noodles, the noodles you buy for like 90p or whatever from the shop. And I just put them in the food flask with the seasoning and whatnot, chopped some chicken into it, just poured boiling water into it, screwed the food flask back up and hoped for the best. And I ate them while I was waiting for the AA, and they were perfectly decent and a lot cheaper than buying motorway service station food. And I took my noodle fork, which was thoughtfully stolen from my friend's lovely Chinese restaurant in Malta, where I eat. Well, let's be honest, I eat there every night when I'm out in Malta because Lucy's lovely. She looks after me. She gives me enormous free vodkas and forgets to charge me for most of the food because, yeah, we're mates. But in future, that is going to be my noodle, or those are going to be my noodle forks of choice. Stew is still bemused by boiled bacon. It's an Irish thing. I'm sure it's an Irish thing. I love this. What size thunderpants do you wear, Boaty? It is your birthday soon, asks Andrew. Large, I think. I'm a 36-inch waist. So I think that's normally large, isn't it? That's brilliant. But I love these. Thank you. Thank all three of you so much. I can't thank you by name because I've got no idea who sent that, but it is, come off it. That is properly funny, isn't it? If you watch my videos and you watch that that restaurant review video, then that is genuinely amusing. And to go to the trouble of doing that and tying them up with a bow and putting all of the sparkling stars in there, that is just genius. So I'm going to put these on display for Christmas with all the cards and everything else. And then next year, then these are going to be put into use as noodle forks on my road trips. So there you go. Cutlery Gate continues, says Simone. Yeah, you could use them. Perfect gift. Any clues from the envelope as to who sent it? No, unless you can decipher handwriting. No, no clues whatsoever. Do you think it came from Sean? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Tomo's eating double cheeseburgers and chips. Sorry, I mean fries. Large pan, says Bad Books, with extra large plum support. Right, we have got a voice note, darlings, and it's from Simone, so I think it's going to be a box pounding voice note, and then it's time for us all to go to bed. But don't worry, my candle's going out. Oh, has my candle reached end of life? What's going on? Oh yeah, it's getting to that stage where the melted wax is going to put it out. Let's see if I can swirl some of the wax around. Keep it going a while. See, if that wax would solidify there, then it won't put the wick out. Ah. No, it was a valiant attempt, but that's gone. Right, new candle on the list for tomorrow. Right, voice note, isn't it? Here we are.
Hello, Mr. Boaty. Don't forget to pound your box as if you just found the Beige Bomber having a bubble bath in your house.
God, I'm going to dream about that. I'm going to dream about that. The Beige Bomber luxuriating in my bath. I need to listen to that one again.
Hello, Mr. Boaty. Don't forget to pound your box as if you just found the Beige Bomber having a bubble bath in your house.
I've just got this vision now of the lovely Mr. Lloyd in my bath in a sea of bubbles. And I've come home from work and gone in for a pee, and he's just raised his glass to me and said, "Hello, sir." I'm just having Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Go on, let's get the box pounded. Oh, Sean's box, £1. My birthday coming right up. Is it 25 more sleeps now? I think it is. 3, 2, 1, and it's gone. Oh, there we are. God, I've enjoyed tonight. I really have enjoyed tonight. Well done, Simone. I need to do a compilation of these. Everybody said it, and I really do. I will. Maybe I'll do it for. I'll tell you what. What about I'm going to do? Sean's going to empty. Well, I'm going to empty Sean's box on my dining table on Sunday, the 12th of January. So maybe I'll start collating all of Simone's box pounding voice notes and start putting them together. And then I'll put the whole video out on the, I'll put the whole video out on the 12th because there won't be box pounding on the 12th, or will there? No, I'll be emptying it. I suppose once I've emptied it, I'll have to pound it again that night, won't I? And that'll be the first pound towards the next birthday, which will hopefully be in Malta, by the way. But yeah, we'll put the video out of the Simone compilation, and I will monetize it. And any money that comes in, I'll send it to Simone because it is her material, isn't it? Right, okay, darlings. Oh yeah, no. Hope not in the shower. Oh, no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Right then, darlings, let me thank you for tonight. I really, really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Those of you who couldn't stay awake, I hope you slept well. And the rest of you, I wish you all a safe and peaceful night. I hope you stay dry, warm, and comfortable. And I wish you all a reasonably decent day tomorrow. I hope there is some joy to be taken somewhere, somehow. And take really good care of yourselves, my lovelies. And if you're fortunate enough to have those that care about you or those that you care for, then take really good care of them too. This candle, yeah, this candle's probably not going to be relit tomorrow. I think this candle's had it. But assuming that I remember to buy one, a candle will be relit tomorrow. Same time, same place, 11 o'clock, Thursday Night Live. Hope to see you there. Thank you so much. Much love from me. Good night. See you next time. And on that note, pachoo! And indeed, oh yes, bosh. Night, darlings.